I don't know what happened, but I guess I'll start over again. I'll start my disclaimer. This is no tea, no shade. If you're starting a boutique and you want to build a a brand and a boutique that lasts, I'm going to discuss some items really quickly that you might not want to sell in your boutique. So I'm going to get back into it. Okay, the first thing, it was liquor. Don't do it unless you have a liquor license, or unless you have all your paperwork in order to be authorized to sell liquor and import liquor into the United States. If you don't have that stuff, just don't do it. If you got it, all power to you. Go for it. There are ways to create liquor brands. So if you want to do that and you want to sell your own liquor, make sure you go down that avenue, okay? Don't be bringing stuff from China into the United States, because you're going to get fined, okay? So the second thing was contact lenses. Contact lenses in the United States is considered a medical device. And so technically a person that is buying contacts from you, and this includes color contacts. So even if a person wants to buy color contacts, technically they're supposed to have a prescription. And you don't want to get caught up if somebody's putting something in their eye and they catch an eye infection. Now they trying to sue you, and now they're gonna take your apartment because your business ain't set up right and you ain't got no protection. They take your dogs, take your cat, and all of that. I would assume that there's a way to legitly sell contact lenses, and if that's color contact lenses, and if that's something that you want to do, make sure you do a little bit more research before you do that, and don't just be buying a bunch of contacts and importing them in and then selling them. And I consider it selling colored contacts because those are a very lucrative. It's a very lucrative industry. But after doing a little bit more research, as you should, I found out that it sometimes it's not even worth the hassle if you're not doing it right. So if you want to sell contacts, make sure you do it the right way. The second thing, I guess this isn't something that you don't want to sell in your boutique. I guess you could sell it. So it's real mink lashes. But just know that if you are trying to bring real mink lashes into the United States from China, you're supposed to have an import license from the Fish and Wildlife Services, because they regulate imported like animal products like fur and stuff like that. So I called the Fish and Wildlife Services and we had a nice conversation, and they told me that technically you're supposed to, one, have an import license, and that import license is $99, and that fee you have to pay yearly. The second thing they told me is that for each shipment of Siberian mink or real mink lashes that you bring into the United States, you have to pay it was either $79 or a $99 fee per shipment. And then you have to make sure that your vendor or whoever is shipping those products into a port where the Fish and Wildlife Services is. And I think Miami was one, and there's a couple more. But you can Google Fish and Wildlife Services, mink lashes, and get more information. Maybe a few weeks ago, there was a post floating around about, a girl whose shipment got held up by the port authorities and she couldn't get it, lost a whole bunch of money, got fined, this, that, and the third. And that happened because those were probably real mink lashes. That person probably didn't have an import license. And so they did not do all of the paperwork necessary. So when it came through the port and got inspected, they'll hold it, they'll pull it, and they'll start fining you. I think those fines can get pretty high. So you can bring in mink lashes, and if you're going to buy them yourself instead of finding them in the United States, make sure you have your import license and make sure you do everything properly. There's information on the Fish and Wildlife Services website. I might post maybe a more detailed video about that later on, or you can just do a Google search. What I meant to say about the contact lenses, if you don't believe me about the contact lenses, there was a guy that got busted and fined for selling color contact lenses in the United States. If you don't believe me, just research it. And if I'm lying, please let me know. But back to the mink lashes. Make sure you have an import license and make sure your stuff is in order. And what they did tell me was that you can get if you have a business, you can get the import license under your business. And that was something I'm probably going to end up doing. I will be having faux mink lashes, so fake mink lashes for sale pretty soon. So I'll just throw that out there. The next thing, Apple products, phones, AirPods, unless it's a refurbished phone that that you can have like the serial number checked to make sure it's authentic and stuff like that, and you want to sell refurbished phones like from the United States, that's fine. But let me try and bring I don't even know what they call it, iPhones over from China, because there's a lot of people losing money behind that and the AirPods too, and they're not authentic. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't want you to get caught up with that, losing your money or none of that stuff. You just don't know. The next thing, I'm gonna say this is, a lot of the time you see you ever seen like those shower curtains or the book bags with like the black people on it? Maybe like a black cartoon or a really nice black woman or black artwork. I was considering selling those things on my website, but when I was doing some pricing to see how much I wanted to sell it for, I actually came across an artist's website, and what I realized was that artwork that this vendor was selling on, I think it was a shower curtain, was actually this artist's work. So I emailed the artist and I was just like, I really love your work, blah blah blah, did you give this company authorization to distribute and duplicate your work? And long story short, I got told, no, I didn't. And being an artist myself, I had to sit back and think and say, wow. There are companies overseas snatching artwork from people who work hard and people who use their creativity to make a living for their family. And they put it on items, put it on book bags, put it on notebooks, put it on this, that, and the third, and ship it and sell it back to the United States, and everybody's making a profit besides the artist. Now, if you still want to sell it, that's on you. But what I want you to consider is that, in a way, it's almost not fair to the artist, and especially when it comes to a lot of that really nice African American artwork, they're not being compensated for it, but people are benefiting, and it's not the artist. So I would just say consider that. If you want to sell Afrocentric items or Afrocentric artwork, there are a lot of digital artists and artists that can create characters and faces and stuff for you from scratch that you can copyright and get your own products made. It may cost a little bit more, but in the long run, maybe you'll feel a little bit better, because, it's like I felt really bad for almost putting all of these really nice shower curtains on my website, knowing in the back of my mind, like, somebody else owned this work and they didn't authorize them to do it. So that's just, something to consider. And the last two things kind of go hand in hand. Beat me up, curse me out, you might not like me. I mean, again, this is no tea, no shade, but unauthorized, authentic luxury items and unauthorized, or not even unauthorized, but replica, fake Gucci, fake Louis, or even Louis that is real by the material, but it's not authorized for sale. You don't want to get caught up with that. Y'all might have saw the post about the girl that was making the Chanel pens, or she imported the Chanel pens, and Chanel sent her a nice demand letter like, boo, what, baby girl, what you doing? We need you to run us 100K like right now. And so you don't want to get caught up in that. And I know it's so easy because so many people are doing it and you can probably get it so fast. But you don't want to put your brand and your financial stability at risk to do something that's trending. Now, if you want to sell authentic Michael Kors, authentic Louis Vuitton, authentic Victoria's Secret in your boutique, there's ways to source that stuff that's licensed and authentic and be okay. I'll actually cover that inside of the Viv Mastermind on how to do that. But there's ways to do that. And so you don't want to get caught up with that. Like, it's really, it's just not worth it. You know, like I said, it's cute, you know, it's big. People are making big money on it. But think about this. If you're growing a brand and you've been growing it for 3 years, you don't want to risk having your brand taken down because you are selling something authentic. I mean, unless you got 100K, 500K sitting around to be able to pay these people when they come, all for, do you, boo. So, but that's something that you want to consider. And that the same thing goes with like licensed products. So like the Mickey Mouse, or I don't know, Teletubbies, I don't know, anything that you can think of, Fortnite, I don't know, anything that's licensed. If whoever you buy from, you need to ask them, do they have the license to produce these materials? And if they do, make sure you keep that information for yourself in case somebody comes to you, because they have big infringement departments that just do nothing but go around looking for unlicensed product. If you don't believe me, go on one of these Etsy groups and these women will tell you they're shutting down whole shops and stuff like that. Just don't do it. If you want to sell licensed material, it may be a little costly, but there are ways to work with maybe a company that already has an allowed license to create products, if that makes sense. But I think that's all. I just wanted to jump on just to give y'all some honesty, because if y'all have ever had a free consultation or a Pick My Brain session, which those are free, you can go on the Boutique Assistant Facebook page and book you a free consultation. You know, my inbox is a mess. If you want to talk to me about your boutique, go on the page, book it. It's free. I just want the best for people, you know, and sometimes we can't do what we don't know. And if you just have that desire and that ambition to do better, and sometimes we look around and we see other people doing stuff, and so maybe we think that that's the way, and sometimes that's not always it. So I created this platform to share with y'all. I hope that this in some way helped you. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Let me know if there's anything that you want to add to this list. Drop it in the comments. Let me know if you think I'm crazy. Drop it in the comments and let me know. But I just want to see us all win. But I just want to see us win in the right way. So have a great day. I hope this helped. Please share this broadcast because maybe it may reach someone who didn't think about it or didn't know. And y'all have a beautiful day.